Alright, what's going on everyone? Matt here for the Matt Film Show. If you guys are new here, make sure you thumbs up. Subscribe if you guys like. Let's get right into today's video. And today I'm giving you guys a brand new video discussing my review on James Gunn's Superman. One of my most anticipated movies of the year. You guys know how much I've been waiting for Superman. This is a movie that has my attention. The start of the new DCU. Well, the second project, but the truly start of the DC universe or the DCU with that is run by James Gunn and Peter Safran. You guys know how much I love James Gunn. I love what he did with the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, with when he worked with Marvel Studios and Disney. I also loved his work on the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday, especially the ones that he did on Disney Plus for Marvel Studios and Disney. I also enjoyed the Suicide Squad that he did for Warner Bros. And DC like 4 years ago now. That was a great movie. Better than the first one. The sequel was way better. And I love what he did with Peacemaker. That thing came out 3 years ago now. 3 years ago now. And I did do my review on Creature Commandos, which was the first project of the new DC. But this is really to truly start the first movie where we get to see. And I really love what James Gunn did with Creature Commandos. He's able to take a group of characters that I never heard of, and make me fall in love with them, make me enjoy these characters, want to get me invested and get to know more about these characters. That's what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy. When Guardians of the Galaxy was coming out, I've never heard of Star-Lord. I've never heard of Gamora, Rocket, Groot, or Drax. Never heard of them. I watched the movie and right away fell in love with these characters. I was invested, wanted to learn more about these characters, want to see more of these characters. And that's how I feel about Creature Commandos. I loved those characters that were introduced in Creature Commandos. Want to see more of them, and we will get to see more of them. And now we're here in Superman, one of my most anticipated movies of the year. This has a lot going forward to it. You know, Disney in the last couple of years have not been having great in the box office. Ever since Black Adam, every DC movie has failed. I hope that this is not the case here. I hope that this movie succeeds. I hope that they win a lot of money for this, because honestly, I really enjoyed Superman. I thought this movie was so much fun, entertaining. You know, what I loved about this movie was that James Gunn was able to bring a character that I love, which is Superman. To me personally, Superman is the greatest comic book character or superhero of all time. He is the godfather of all superheroes, in my opinion. And I think that Superman is the one that should be getting the most amount of movies, the most amount of push out there. There should be in a lot of movies and a lot of merchandise, a lot of TV shows, a lot of all this. Superman should be the front and center one always. And so I'm gonna tell you guys the premise of this movie. Then I'm gonna go over all the cast and what do I think about the cast and my overall thoughts on the movie. So the premise is Superman's journey to reconcile his alien heritage with his adopted human family. Obviously, the movie is obviously directed by James Gunn. The movie stars David Cornswell as Clark Kent Superman, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Nicholas Hoult Lex Luthor, Eddie Gadry as Michael Holt, Mr. Terrific, Anthony Carrigan as Rex Mason, Metamorpho, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and Isabella Merced as Kendra Saunders, Hawk Girl. So yeah, those are the cast here. There's like a couple of superheroes in here, and so when I saw that they were going to add Green Lantern or a Green Lantern, you know, because the Green Lantern I know of is obviously Hal Jordan. I personally, I did not know that there was so many different types of Green Lanterns. Now I know. Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, or Guy Gardner's Green Lantern, and Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, when they were gonna add these other superheroes, I was kind of a bit worried because I was like, you know what? This is a Superman movie. This is not a Justice League movie. There should not be. I understand what he's trying to do. You know, he's trying to say, hey, you know what? This is part of the same universe. I get that. And so when I was watching the trailers and everything, I was a bit worried that they were gonna have a lot that they were gonna be a huge part of the story and everything. Um, I really liked Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I think he was perfectly casted as Lex Luthor. That he was great. Obviously, he played Hank McCoy Beast in the X-Men films. I love the X-Men films that he was in the X-Men First Class films or trilogy or set films. I love the at least X-Men First Class and Days of Future Past. I love those two movies, and he was Hank McCoy Beast, and I thought he played him very, very well. He was a superhero, now he's playing a villain, and I thought that Nicholas Hoult did a very fantastic job as Lex Luthor. He was able to embody him, to bring him to life. No disrespect to Jesse Eisenberg or I forgot who played Lex Luthor in Superman Returns. But I think, to be honest, I thought that Nicholas Hoult was able to be the best Lex Luthor in live action. You know, I saw what they were trying to do with Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor in the DCEU, but he just wasn't green. He wasn't Lex Luthor, man. He just didn't do it for me. I I, he wasn't great for the role. They should pick someone else for Lex Luthor for the DCEU. Like Jesse Eisenberg was not it, but um, Nicholas Hoult brings that what what Lex Luthor needs to be. He was a great villain. He played the villain very, very well. He was very he knew what he wanted to do. You know, his tricks and up his sleeves that he had to want to kill Superman, want to defeat Superman, his plans and all that. I was very engaged with that. I was very, it's like, okay, you know what? Okay, I see what he's trying to do. And he just was born to play Lex Luthor. He was very, very great as Lex Luthor. And so I can't wait to see more of Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Um, Another thing that I do want to talk about is David Cornswell's Superman, perfectly casted. I loved David Cornswell's Superman. You know, you guys know me. My favorite Superman is obviously Henry Cavill, who was Superman, the previous Superman, and he was very disrespected. And I was very sad that we were no longer getting Henry Cavill as Superman anymore. That it was time to pass the torch to someone new. And so when they announced that there were David Cornswell was going to be Superman, I was like, you know what? This looks like Henry Cavill. Similarities, he looked kind of similar to him and everything. So I was like, okay, you know what? I see what they're trying to go for, right? They want the same, like, kind of like same replica as Henry Cavill. So I thought David Cornswell was perfect as not only as Clark Kent, but as Superman. He was able to embody him. He, like I said, you know, I loved Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. He was born to play Lex Luthor. He was born to play Superman. David Cornswell killed it as Superman. I was very, very satisfied with him as playing Clark Kent. You know, he had kind of like that nerdy style that Clark Kent has, right, with the glasses and everything, and the Daily Planet. Uh, and just seeing him, right, and now with him, I would say that there's more Superman than Clark Kent. So do not expect to see a lot of Clark Kent. Expect to see a lot more Superman. But he just was fantastic as Superman. I loved him as Superman. I really enjoyed this movie. You know, one thing I was so excited about this movie that they brought Superman was they brought Krypto the Super Dog. You know, Krypto was a character that I heard of and I wanted to see in live action. when are we gonna get to see live action Crypto? We finally get to see him here, and Crypto was amazing here. I loved Crypto. I loved the scenes with Superman and Crypto. You know, seeing Crypto the Super Dog finally in live action in the movie, waiting patiently to see when we're gonna see Crypto. This was so good. You know, this is so comic book accurate Superman that, that this is just so comic that this is just like ripped out the comic book pages. That how accurate Superman the movie was. Um, I thought I really loved David Cornswell's Superman. I can't wait to see more of him. What to do with him. I think Rachel Brosnan's Lois Lane was amazing. She was great as Lois Lane. She embodied her. You know, I not keep saying that word, but everybody was perfectly casted very well. Can't wait to see more of these characters. You know, with Amy Adams playing Lois Lane, I thought she was great as well. Perfect. I thought she was great casted, but I just think that just Rachel Brosnan was just so well made as Lois Lane. I'm not jumping around here because, you know, I'm trying to, you know, give my thoughts on all these characters here. So Guy Gardner's Green Lantern was amazing. Nathan Fillion, great actor. I liked watching him in The Rookie. He was in the Suicide Squad for DC, so he was in the DC movie prior to being in Superman. He was in the Suicide Squad. Got killed off in the first like 3 minutes or so. But he is now Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. I thought Green Lantern was fun. I would say this, Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific. I think that's, what was the other one? Anyways, those three guys, you might think that they're in the trailers a lot. They're not, like I did say earlier, they're not in the movie a lot. So do not expect to see them a lot in the movie. But they were not in the story overall in a sense of they were a lot in the movie in a sense like, yeah, you know what? This is supposed to be a Superman movie, but Green Lantern's here, Hawk Girl's here, right? Mr. Terrific's here. It's like, no. I appreciate that because that was my number one worry here was I was like, yeah, you know what? You have Green Lantern, you have Hawk Girl, you have Mr. Terrific. It's like, yeah, that's cool. And I can't wait to see them in this movie. But is this going to be a Justice League semi-movie? Or is this going to be... No, it's like, no. This is a Superman movie. They're there. But they're just there for like... They're there, but it doesn't affect the story overall. It doesn't affect the movie overall. In a sense of like, yeah, you know what? It was fine being there. So I was a little bit relieved when I saw them. I was like, okay, you know what? So, okay, now I'm relieved. But Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner was great as Green Lantern. You know, the thing that was funny about him was the bowl cut because you know he has the bowl cut in the comics. He has a bowl cut here, and I thought that was funny seeing him Nathan Fillion in the bowl cut. The whole Green Lantern jacket, the powers and everything. I thought that was so cool. You know, this is the first time we're seeing Green Lantern. Well, we did see Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League, but one of them, was Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern. Obviously, that movie was not that great. So I really like to see that he's including the Green Lantern here, saying it's like, yeah, you know what? We're getting Superman, but we're also getting Green Lantern obviously we're getting the Green Lantern show next year, I believe. We're getting Green Lantern as well. And we're also getting Hawker, you know? So I thought his powers were great in here. He was very fantastic. He was really cool, you know what I mean? Very fun character. Can't wait to see more of Guy Gardner. I believe he's going to be in the Lantern show. You know, we got Hal Jordan going to be in that show as well, except for the Lanterns. It's like detective type stuff, so I'm very, very interested in that. Hawker, as Vilma said, Hawk Girl. I've heard of that character before, you know, in video games and stuff like that. And I was in anime shows and all that in animated form. And I thought she was perfectly great as you know. And when I saw her, I was like, wait, didn't she play Dora? She played the live action Dora a couple of years, like 6-7 years ago, when they did the first live action Dora movie. she was there. I was like, yeah, yep, it's the same girl. But she was great as Hawk Girl. You know what I mean? And I can't wait to see more of Hawk Girl. I think she's gonna be in Peacemaker season 2. So I can't wait to see her there. I believe next month is when Peacemaker comes out. And so I like Hawk Girl. We got to see Hawkman and Black Adam, right? Black Adam wasn't he wasn't Black Adam, Hawkman. So I do not know if he's gonna come back as Hawkman or what they're gonna do with that Hawkman character. But she did a great job as Hawk Girl. Can't wait to see more of Hawk Girl. But yeah, you know, I was very satisfied, like I said, that Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific, all those guys, they were not in the movie a lot. You know, they form a team. Um, they're a group of superheroes on a team called the Justice Gang. Right? What's the Justice Gang? Trying to remember the Justice Gang. So I thought that was what kind of sweet. You know what I mean? It's like, no, they're actually a team. They call it the Justice Gang. And I was like, okay, Justice Gang. I was like, okay, that's cool. So they are actual team there. And I'm sure we will see that specific team in obviously in the other projects of the DCU. The score was amazing. I love the score of Superman. James Gunn, you know, something about James Gunn is from Guardians of the Galaxy, Peacemaker, and Suicide Squad, and even Creature Commandos, the music. You know, I loved the music in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, the second one, Volume 2 and Volume 3. I loved the music in the Suicide Squad. I loved the music in Peacemaker. And I also loved the music in Creature Commandos, or at least the song choices that he chose for those things. And the soundtrack here of Superman is amazing. The score for Superman, hands down, great score. The whole soundtrack, amazing. But yeah, I thought everybody was perfectly casted. I really enjoyed everybody here. Perfectly casted. Can't wait to see more of these characters. Huge standout, like I said, was David Cornsworth Superman. Was my standout. Was the one I loved. Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. Nathan Fillion as Sky Gardner, Green Lantern. Isabella Mercedes Hawk Girl. And it was, I can't pronounce his name. And Gategi, I don't know, as Mr. Terrific was another standout. Crypto Superdog, a standout. Either those were the characters that I loved from this movie that made the movie fun. Can't wait to see more of those characters. But overall, Superman was worth the wait, and it's a great movie. And you guys should go watch Superman. And thank you, James Gunn, Peter Safran, for this amazing movie. Can't wait to see more of these characters. Can't wait to see more Superman. And this did live up to the hype, and I'm so happy and excited. So thank you guys for watching this video. Come subscribe, because like, see you guys in the next video. Peace out.